right, what's in the papers today?
Well, I have a lot of papers today. The Ghanaian Times 2025 budget inspirational. ISA states calls for proper implementation. Make prisons transformative centers. President to new prisons board. Acquisition of Ghana Bauxite Company Limited by OPLC followed due diligence. This is GBCL. Ghana records annual shortfall of 330,000 units of blood. This is the National Blood Service, and soldier 4 others shot dead in Boko Nanumba. Daily Graphic, Agri budget too small for impact. This is the CEO for Agri Impact Limited. GCB launches MSE Group loans. It offers support to petty trading groups. 2025 budget inspires hope. This is ISA. Now, the new center has the same ISA story here, but it says 11% inflation target in 2025 budget doubtful. Finance Minister touts cedi stability against the US dollar, and urgent solutions needed to avert looming food crisis in Ghana. This is the General Agricultural Workers Union. Dakar Times has 24-hour economy on the front page. 24-hour economy policy. NDC MPP MPs express opinions after policy advisors presentation. Mr. Guzitano is on the front page. Mahama Ayariga dismisses Afenyo Markin's proposal. We discussed that here yesterday on the show. And if you go to the Inquisitor newspaper, fuel prices drop for third consecutive time. And let's make VRA great again. This is the CEO of VRA. There are two publishers. One is the new publisher, and the other is the Ghanaian publisher. The new publisher has a story on Okada. Legalized Okada team starts work, and there's also the big story on the murder of Ahmed Swale. We understand that the police has grabbed a suspect in this particular case. And if you go to the publisher, Bauxite Company is defending the OPCL acquisition process, rejects allegations of wrongdoing, and the story to do with the replacement of the top hierarchy in the Ghana Armed Forces, Army, Air Force, Navy, Asin South MP Blast Mahama. He has a photo of Reverend John Intimfojo and President John Mahama. And there's going to be a launch of the Tree for Life Reforestation Initiative at the Kofor Park in Inkari in the Ashanti region on Friday. Tree for Life Reforestation Initiative coming up. So these are the main stories in the newspapers. If you go to My Joy Online, there are a lot of stories on My Joy Online as well.
So let's see what's on myjoyonline.com this morning. And I think the top story there has to do with Kennedy Agyapong, where, of course, a U.S. court has awarded Anas $18 million in defamation suit against Kennedy Agyapong and one other. So, look, this is pretty much the same 2018 case that Anas lost in Ghana. And I mean, it's fascinating. I remember when the ruling of that case came out, and I remember reading the words of the judge against the plaintiff, which pretty much suggested that Anas, had committed crimes, if you will, and that was a big shock, but it came as a big victory to Kennedy Agyapong at the time. Well, a U.S. court has seen things differently. And I believe Kennedy Agyapong's lawyers have applied to the court for the $18 million penalty to be reduced by some great margin. And of course, if the court accepts that, then it will be up to Anas's team to either go along with the new amount or have a new trial. That's almost 300 million Ghana cedis. 3 times the amount budgeted for assembly members in the 2025 budget. Crazy. Now, following that, pay all of that to one person. Following that declaration, Anas says that politicians cannot take media for granted, and he says truth has also prevailed. Now, still on My Joy Online, there is a story. John Jinapo says he fully endorses the purchase of gold to stabilize the city. Now, there are also stories to do with food, and Kojo, please let me give you that story. You know me, I like to talk about food. Now, the General Agri Workers Union are warning that if we don't take immediate steps, we are going to have food shortage in the country, and that the government need to take immediate steps
to address that. This is in the news center, and if you go to the front page of the Daily Graphic, the Chief Executive Officer of Agri Impact Group, Daniel Akwe, has stated that the budget allocation to Agric is inadequate for driving national economic transformation. He said with 1.5 billion Ghana cedis, approximately $100 million allocated to Agric out of the 279 billion Ghana cedi budget, he believes that we need to do better. Right. I think that at least some 5 billion Ghana cedis every year should be a good starting point.
Take us back to myjoyonline.com. Is there anything there from Adwoa Safo's
Yes. There are a lot of stories on Adwoa Safo. She says some MPP members orchestrated her primaries defeat despite her apology. She also says she doesn't regret abstaining from the E-levy votes. She said quite a lot.
Yeah, in fact, let's see if we can have a quick recap of what she said. She was speaking on Asempa FM to OB yesterday. Now, we must inform you that she spoke in some, what can only be described as elective chi, like super advanced chi. We will give you our best interpretation afterwards, but here is Adwoa Safo herself speaking to OB.
And there was this argument, Adwoa Safo and Adwoa Safo. Were you the one?
Nehemiah.
Are you sure?
Nehemiah.
You had come down from US. Now about from US.
Yeah. Situation na me woman tina me koba and me bisa permission bia na yede me ko na ba ko ekoto me ba panyini ne de ne sa akoto me no ene ma me cheye but sa da Nehemiah but na me mu ayedu na ma oba bia me wuvia me huhuru aha Nehemiah but me those within omo so sa orchestrate yes and ye we and ye me and fine ko see wo ba
there is no officer your orchestration
am I no obi di deputy leader penya leaders na chipe na wo sort na wo de maka hwe baby haruna te hwe baby amutakate ye yi me they put me at the back bencher after I feel my parliament.
Really?
Exactly. For General Secretary Nebisano. It's me bar down. There was a bill and I was say parliament near passy. And no by them say general. Well, me your bentina moya mesa. If you want me to go and vote on that bill, Mufa me need mama say me a former leader. Na mufa me seat in Kotina baby 18. Who be say we anyamia. Anyamia me yes seat. The majority whip, he is responsible for seating arrangement. It will mean say deputy leader and not deputy whip. Omuyi me no
back bench like a first timer in parliament. And away na why you come ho no.
Entina me kasa mrepemu me kasa na me kasa mu pa mo frɛ no sasem na me ka me boa.
But you say whatever happened in the elections, no, the blame cannot be placed on Dr. Baumia.
No, cry and no more person womoka. I will party. Dr. Baumia, and I make a flag bearer. Nasty, I know ye number 2 now here with dimate. Oka, see a pan ye befa.
Yes.
Ye pa, ye mfa. That is exactly what happened.
And do you think
it's almost a true report, no?
Yeah.
Me see, Professor Michael Kwe, our true report, no? Report, no, shall see a first page on starting with Domi Kwabinya. The backyard, or on starting. Say na Dr. Baumia, you say, and a Ghana for 1 penno, and no, my starting on more day bow. Me ye catch the war, say, me see Professor Michael Kwe, report, no? Offer Domi Kwabinya, page 1, non true wasem, the banning yet to Lusu Domi Kwabinya. What to me, report, Nia Kenya Befa, and just that, ye befa honorable say, Chairman Sabusu, or more report on Modiabat, and no Naya Kurjin. Me regret it, but I will never. E-levy I the bomb charge. E-levy. Oh, e-levy. Ban. I say ne buy no. E suru hono ye mu bi no. Ni esusu say emwa Ghana. Esan say na sit well.
And sit well with you.
Na many ma sorry mpanyimfo ne me papa mo so de matena sesa de amode ba no. Dodo no ebeko tia. Ni pass ne mo ahokire no beye mo. Enti munyai. I was torn between my church and my political party. Some the party see yanko me recuse and then me kadisha nyame nyam say baby me papa de me gina wan sorry ni no. If I had gone against that and can no people accept me wo abusuani mu. And I'm looking forward to that day in our politics wa Ghana obia betimi etine mashe bedwam ho ebe vote because anyese party ahwepe no na mo constituency for ni say your party adeɛ koraa na emmoa yetimi vote against. That will enrich our democracy.
Yeah. Adwoa Safo spitting fire yesterday when she sat with Obi. I mean, general translation, right? So she says, yep, that was her.
In Parliament?
Yes, in Parliament for the e-levy vote. She says she voted against the e-levy. She voted her conscience, or if more importantly, she was impressed upon by her church. And of course, you know which church she means, the church that is led by her father. And they impressed upon her that if she voted for the e-levy, it would bring untold hardships to Ghanaians, and so she voted that way. And she looks forward to a day when MPs will vote, for things that will favor their constituents over their party. Yeah. Well, okay. So she also talks about how she was sidelined following the change in leadership when she was moved to a backbencher.
From a front bencher to a back bencher.
Indeed, as if she had just come to Parliament. And she gives the example of what happens on the what is now the majority side, where, once Haruna and Muntaka and the others were, swapped, they sit right behind leadership. They don't move to the backbench. And she points to all of these as examples of how she feels like she was maligned and punished. She says that even the primaries that resulted in Michael Quay Jr. becoming parliamentary candidate for Dome Kwabenya, which is the largest constituency in Ghana, those primaries, she believes, were rigged in favor of Mike Okoye Jr. And that is, in her mind, the reason why the MPP ended up losing Dome Kwabenya for the very first time. So yeah, these are some of the things she said to Obi.
Well, so that's on Adwoa Safo. Two final headlines. There's a committee to look at integrating Okada in our transport mix, and we have new leadership for the Army, Air Force, and the Navy. So now Fire Service has new leadership, Ghana Police Service, Prison Service, and the Armed Forces.
We'll talk a bit more about Adwoa Sarfo and related matters in a little bit, but